Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Better than ever. How's it going? BDIV here, the head honcho. Welcome to BDIV in the Business. The best sports show, best talk show ever. I mean, we're very low, right? We're down here right now. Someday we'll be back up. It's 11 p.m., but I am very ecstatic. I'm sure there's nobody really watching this right now. This is 11 p.m. And all you are old. The energy is up here. The energy is up here, and we are ready to roll. We are ready to roll. We got a big slate for you guys today, but before we start any of that, okay? Before we start any of that, I gotta cut to this. So, I'm really upset right now because the Packers are, they're selling the bag pretty hard. Don't get me wrong. The 49ers are a great football team. They're insane. I love the way they play football. I love the way they play. But right now, they're playing really good football. A little bit too much good football. So, I'll tell you what. So right now, the score is 10-10. Okay? The Niners have the ball on their own 45. Jimmy G's going to drop back, and he's going to hit Debo over the middle. And boy, they are driving. There's only a minute 53 left. There's not a lot of time left for football. There is really no time left for football. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm going to turn this music up a little bit, though. That's what we do. Louder? Oh, all right, but yes. Packers in a tight one right now. We're not going to start the stream until something. It's a minute 15 left. Packers are going to give it to, I believe that's Debo. Debo's going to pick up about 3. I don't know. I go in 7 G's for Packers. I probably shouldn't have said that. It's okay. I'm digging this rock music. Please don't stop. Oh, it stopped. There we go. Robbie Gold warming up the leg. Packers with 1 timeout. I'm going to bring in a Packers fan here. Bring in a Packers fan. Mikey Leone. Michael, how buddy?
What's up?
Mike, what's going through your head right now? This doesn't look good.
It doesn't look good at all. Packers only have had 58 yards in this half.
That's horrible.
That is horrible.
That's
the
really
Niners
bad.
have had 143.
I tell you what, you got your, my hat's really good. You got your Hall of Fame quarterback, your back-to-back. It's inevitable. He won MVP. This is not looking good. This is not looking
no
good.
way he hasn't won MVP. And we also have a Hall of Fame wide receiver, Devontae Adams.
Yes, but all right.
It's a
Jimmy
pitch
G.
to Debo.
Oh, okay, I'm behind.
Oh, stuff behind the line. Let's go.
It's not like Jimmy's playing a great game either.
He's playing terrible.
Yeah, no, 131. Been a pick. That's not necessarily good numbers. Everybody for joining. Thank you guys for tuning in. I greatly appreciate it. You can tell we're back. The late night show with BDIV and the boys. We're going to hope to continue this for as long as we can. But currently, before we start, the Packers are in a really close game. Really close and contested game right now. The Packers just called their last timeout. It's 10-10 with a minute 3 to go. And it looks like Jimmy almost lost that ball there.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
One thing I do have to say is I think Trent Williams may have a concussion.
Trent Williams
playing through it.
Trent Williams may have a concussion.
He was throwing up on the field earlier in this game.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's bad.
Throwing
up. But hey, Hart sent me. We're bringing him in a little bit, but Hart sent me a video, or it brought to my attention that I saw a really nasty pool. Just like this guy right here, Big Q. He cleared the lane, man. He cleared the lane, cleared the way. And
Wait, Trent Williams? No, Trent Williams.
Yeah, big T.
No, he didn't pull. They lined him up at fullback.
Oh.
Yeah, he motioned over
I only
just
saw
kicked out the end.
like the block.
Yeah, he lined him up at fullback, motioned over, kicked out the end, and the end fell on his ass. And he
Yeah.
went into the linebacker.
All right, we're gonna bring in my other two co-stars here for this game. I'm gonna keep you here too as well, Mike. Let's bring in Frazzy and Hart. I mean, fellas, what's up? We're here. We're live. BDIV in the place. We're back. Just shits and gigs. Shits and gigs. We're back. We're here. We're ready to roll. And perfect timing. What a way to start BDIV in the place. What a way. Debo.
Oh, no. Debo's limping off the field.
I'll tell you what, though. Debo's
that's good for me, bad for Niners.
Oh, that's horrible. That is not good. But the 49ers are in a great spot right now. Now, if this game happens to go to OT, we'll still talk about what we were going to talk about, but sort of focus on the game at the same time. But right now, I mean, Niners are moving. Debo's
the ball?
24 seconds left in this game. It's not looking good.
Not looking good for the Packers at all.
What yard line?
Little fact here.
The
Jimmy
29
Jimmy G's never played in a game below 40.
On the Packers, 29?
Wait,
Yes.
Fraz, go ahead and say that again.
No, I'm not watching.
Jimmy
this.
G has never played in a game below 40 degrees.
40.
And Lambeau's giving him a...
Yeah, it's
giving him
11
test
degrees
here.
outside.
Feels like 0 with wind chill.
That's crazy. 13 seconds left. 13 seconds left. Can I change the background? I think I lost the access to everything. Yeah, I did. Ooh. I haven't been on here in a while. Oh, there we go. Oh. Here we see Robbie Gold warming up.
Hopefully.
Matty LaFleur not looking. He's looking optimistic, of course. I mean, to be honest though, it could go either way. This is not very good conditions for a kicker, no.
Oh, no.
Fullback
Not at all.
run.
Wait, who's it? To Juicy Juice.
Let's see.
Yep. Fullback run to Juicy Juice.
I mean, that's just that's hey, let's run the ball down as far as we can. Call a timeout.
Jeez,
Timeout
all the
has been
Niners are
called.
getting lit up
Kittle's
here.
limping off the field.
Oh man.
I mean, it's 12 degrees right now, and it feels like 0.
I mean, I'm sure even Fraz in the weather as well. When you get dinged at all in this cold of weather, it just hurt. It just stings just as much more because it's just so freaking cold out.
Yeah.
No, you know from experience.
Oh yeah, I know. Like you got shot. I rolled up on my ankle pretty good, but
Dude, this is insane. To send the Niners to the championship.
All right, Mike, you're ahead of all of us, so I'm cutting you off. We'll be back. Okay, how's the Packers fans? Robbie Gold, ready to wind up.
Oh, man.
Oh, wait. The kick is up. Oh, he drilled it.
Is it over?
That's just, dude.
Is it
Hey, at
over?
least I didn't go out in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, man. Packers. Oh, man. That's
Niners
crazy.
just came to Lambeau Field and beat them in 12-degree weather. And they're
Well,
used
there
to
goes our
like
80K.
60, 70.
Yep, and there goes our 80K at Madden. I mean, come on. Okay.
Both of mine were wrong. I'm angry.
I don't know how
I
you
bet
pick-
on the
I-
I bet on the Titans and the Packers, and both of them
Speaking-
lost.
Speaking
I got
of
2
the
in the
Titans-
buck, though.
Speaking on the Titans, let's just jump right into it. Okay, this is perfect. Perfect timing. The Bengals and the Titans battled it out today in Tennessee. Joey Burr and the Bengals came out on top for a few different reasons, okay? A few different reasons. Numero uno, the Bengals kicker. What an absolute menace. Coming in clutch for the past few weeks. He's been playing absolutely amazing. But let me pull up these stat lines. So the final score was 19-16 Bengals. I believe Joe Burrow, though, despite having a pretty good game, he got pretty banged up. I think he got sacked 6 or 7 times.
9
It was
times. 9 times.
9. I
Yeah.
stopped watching after a certain point so I could start getting ready for this. But let's take a look here at the box score and all that. Okay, yeah. So if we take a look here, I'm gonna cut the music off. It was good for when we came back. But by the way, guys, we're back. Thank you very much for all your support. So let's take a look at the numbers here. If we take a look, Derrick Henry, 20 for 62. That's not a very good stat line. When when you're given the ball 20 times, you're expected to put up at least 80 yards. I mean, his longest run was 9. I mean, Donta Foreman had 16 less carries and still had more yards. He broke out a 45-yard carry today. But I mean, guys, the future. How far do we see the Bengals going here? I mean, now they're going to have to play the winner of the Bills-Chiefs game. What are we thinking here? Are they
I think they got their best competition, probably Buffalo. They're beatable, but Kansas City, I don't know about that one.
So, do you think like maybe a better matchup would be
Buffalo?
Like, who do you think a better matchup out of that game would be?
To me, honestly, I think that Buffalo would be a better matchup. I just think Kansas City's offense would just be a little bit too much for the Bengals defense. I know Josh Allen came off a great game recently, but I mean, how much can he hold that up for? I'm thinking the Kansas City Chiefs would just be a little bit more tough for the Bengals.
Mike, agree or disagree with that statement?
I actually think the Chiefs will be an easier win. The Chiefs' defense is not really that good.
Yeah, but they've been playing better since.
Yeah.
They started off the season in a negative record, and then they got up to 500, and then after that they were steamrolling.
Yeah, they steamrolled, man.
Yeah.
They jumped all the way up from. They jumped all the way up from like a bottom 20 to a top 10 defense. Chris Jones has been absolutely manhandling the inside.
And Sorensen, crappy start to the season, but he started to pick it up a little bit.
Yeah, Sorensen's playing good now. You got Honey Badger over top. That Kansas City defense isn't bad. Me personally, I'm going to agree with Mike. Buffalo has been playing the best football that they've had in a few years. I mean, Josh Allen just came off arguably the greatest playoff performance ever out of a quarterback. I mean, you can't get that much closer in QBR to perfect the way that Josh Allen did. What was it, a 440, something like that. He was in the high 140s, and that's insane. And then it's not even the fact that it's Josh Allen. I think it's their defense, which it boggles my mind that the Bills didn't have a single Pro Bowler, despite being ranked first in damn near every category. So, I would. We'll come back to that later. But going back to the Bengals game, I mean, yeah, Joe Burrow. So Joey got sacked 9 times, and he got tackled he lost 68 yards in sacks. 68 yards in sacks. Now, here's a question I have for you, Art. Now, going back, way back, I mean, all three of you can answer this question. Going way back, we had a draft show, and I think a lot of us had the Bengals taking Penei Sewell. Going back, even though Jamar had a really good season, do you think that the Bengals would still have, or Joe Burrow for that matter, would have as good as a success as he is now? We'll start with you, Hart. How do you think Joey B would do without Jamar, but instead of better?
To be honest, I don't think he would be as good. Jamar and Joe had that chemistry at LSU with Justin Jefferson too, but Jamar opted out last season because of COVID. But when he was with Joe Burrow, they built that chemistry, and it carried into the league, and it shows, man. Jamar can really run after the catch, and that's why he's so versatile.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we talked about this before. Joey football, I mean, when people said, "Oh, he can't play in the playoffs," now you could argue, and we argued it before, that the college football playoff is not even close to NFL playoffs. But still, having that much success in college football, and on the college football championship level, you kind of had to assume he was going to do pretty good. But going back to that last question, Fraz, was was Jamar Chase absolutely no doubt in mind the best pick for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Zach on this one. I don't think Penei Sewell would have been this crazy factor for the Bengals. Jamar and Joe obviously have that college chemistry going into from college going into the NFL, and I mean, let's go back to week I believe it was 17. Jamar dropped 78 points in fantasy with 239 yards. I mean, you don't see that from a rookie wide receiver, yet alone a top-tier wide receiver. And, I mean, Joe Burrow's throwing him the ball. So, I mean, obviously something's going right for that little combination there. And I think that was the best pick for the Bengals.
I mean, I think I'm probably the only one that, for the first half of the season, thought Jamar Chase was a bit overrated. His game went from here to you won't even be able to see my hand. It's all the way up here. His route tree expanded so much. You know, they had the Bengals first half of the season, in which he was really proficient in college, so you can't blame him. He went from, just running goes and posts for the first half of the year. You'll see. I think at 3 in his first 8 games, he had at least a 70-yard catch. That's insane. You don't barely ever see that. And then you have, and then this route tree expanded and the yards and receptions kind of started making sense. Because before, you had your catches and your yards, and it didn't really make sense. But now, they're getting him involved. You have zig route. I saw one today. You're in a really good zig route. Slants, ins, outs, nothing more than 10 yards. And then you'll have him run a really deep post or something like that. And so, Jamar has definitely taken that step up. Mike, I'll ask the same question I just asked them. Was Jamar Chase, without a doubt, the best pick for the Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah, he was definitely the best pick for them. But still, I don't think – it's kind of rare for a rookie to have that good of a season. And I do not think he's going to be able to follow it up with the exact same season or even a better season next year. His route running is just not there, and I feel like all the defense is going to game plan against him now.
So you think it's more of like a, Joey knows how to get him the football, and he's not necessarily a great route runner?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
if I can chime in right there, I mean, I'm going to agree with that, though. The yards after catch Jamar Chase gets, it's not really him going on deep routes, like going on a post. It's like, I mean, we just saw it today, a little bubble screen, and he rushed and he got a 60-yard gain out of it. Like, just that those free yards are just like crazy from a rookie wide receiver. And yeah, Mike, I agree with you. The route running isn't his route running isn't something insane, and we'll see what happens in a few years, but I agree that it's going to catch up on him, and teams are going to read that.
He's really good at getting off press. Like, if you watch his film,
yes,
the reason why he creates so much separation, that's why he gets so wide open. Like, when teams press him, they probably audible do a go route for him because he's so good at making space.
And I do watch a lot of film. By the way, NFL Game Pass. I'm really mad right now. They got rid of the all 22 film. If you don't know what that is, basically you can see all 22 players on the field at once. I paid $100 for the year, and they took it away midway through the season. I was so upset. But anyway, if you look at Jamar Chase's route running, and this is going to be a really weird comparison, he kind of run routes like Doug Baldwin. I know that sounds really weird, okay? But Doug Baldwin integrated a lot of basketball moves in his route running. You see that with Jamar. There's a lot of hand movement, and that's how he gets off the press. He's also very physical off the ball. Right. I will 100% agree with that. Off the press, he's very hard to stop. I mean, you can see it. I don't really know why teams press him because they don't really use him underneath all that much. But if you get beat over top, you're screwed. Even if there's a safety there, he's gonna beat him out too. The great game by him today. He dropped 109 yards today, 22-yard average. Great game off of 5 catches. 5 catches. Now, if a person drops 100 yards, like somebody let's say Amari Cooper, for example. If Amari Cooper or even Cooper Kupp caught the ball 5 times, they probably only have like 60, 70 yards. But, you know, with somebody like Jamar, 5 catches, 6 targets, so that's also a good thing to note. 5 catches and, 21 yards average. And if we're looking at the season, it's been pretty close right there. We're at already 8 yards a catch. So I'll agree with all you on that. Jamar, we're Frank. I'll have to agree with you with all of you. Hey, you guys hear me?
You're kind of
It's
glitchy.
cutting out a
going
little bit.
a
Hello?
little bit, but
Hello?
Hello,
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, I know.
you're good.
You guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I know. I'm a little delayed right now. But yeah, no, I mean, 1,500 yards on the season. That's all I gotta say. Great year for Jamar. I will have to agree with Mike, though. I'm gonna need to see one more season to really see if he's legit. Justin Jefferson proved it. I mean, his rookie year, very similar. Now we're gonna see again next year, and Justin's proved it that he's gonna do it. I'm rooting for Jamar. I think that he will definitely, I think he'll come back, and I think he'll do what he did the last time. Oh my God, how did I forget to invite this man? BD, I apologize, my guy. I am so sorry. When we do this again, you're definitely gonna have to be on the show, man. You're definitely gonna have to be on the show. Actually, wait a minute. See if we can get Stevie on here right now. I do. All right, Brandon, if you want to join, I just sent you an email. If you want to join, it's totally up to you, my bro. Totally up to you. But yeah, other than that, great game all around. Let's move on to our early slate tomorrow. Okay, we got a few games tomorrow. Let's take a look. We're gonna go down the list. We're gonna check it twice. Okay, let's start with the first game tomorrow at 3 p.m. We have the Rams and Buccaneers. From a sports betting standpoint, which I do want to get into. By the way, none of us here sports bet. We are not old enough. We are not legal. We are not allowed to sports bet. In the state of Pennsylvania, you have to be 21 years old. Do not sports bet. It's not cool, guys. It's not cool. But because it's cool to talk about, let's talk about the game in general, because I think it's easier for us to see what the game's outcome, what the public and Vegas things. So right now, currently, the Rams are underdogs at +3 spread. Raz, do you think the Rams can cover a +3 spread, or do you think that they're going to win?
I mean, with playoff Brady, I don't know if this is going to be like an easy game for the Rams. Let's be honest. We've seen Brady in the playoffs, and he's like demolished teams. He's beaten teams by 20 and more. I think this is going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be a 2-possession win, 2-possession win for the Buccaneers, and they're going to beat them 24-14.
24-14.
24-14.
Now, Hart, I saw you a little bit of I seen that face, Hart. What's that? What are you thinking, Hart?
I mean, both offenses are dynamic, so I think it's going to be more of like a 31-24 game. But this game could go either way. Just depends on how defenses come out. I mean, Rams on paper probably have the best.
Oh,
defense.
Rams on paper, it's not even close.
AD, Ramsey, Vaughn.
Yeah,
We're
now,
talking about Tom Brady here.
Yeah, but
I
still.
know. But
If he
Brady
doesn't
has
have the
always had
protection, then he gets
Brady's
sacked.
always
a lot.
had help.
And
This is a
Godwin's
game-
out.
Go ahead, Hart. My bad.
Godwin's hurt. No AB, of course.
I mean, he did it with Julian Edelman.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but still got
I don't know.
Gronk.
I don't know if this is the same dynamic here. It's not only that.
Good
I think Jensen's playing. I'm not sure if Wirfs is playing. Is Wirfs a go? Anybody know?
Not sure,
not-
but
I would
I can
assume.
go check
I
right
didn't
now.
even know he was hurt.
Brady said Jensen's his favorite lineman. He has
Oh, and rightfully so. He's one of the smartest linemen ever. when you have two guys like that are so knowledgeable of football, that I kind of think of the same combination of like Peyton Manning and Jeff Saturday back in Indy back in the day. You have two guys, and there's a clip of them fighting on the sideline, like they go nuts on each other. But that's not a fight that's terrible. That's a good fight. They're talking about what they're butting heads, if you will, and I think that's what we're seeing from Tom and Ryan Jensen. Mike, do you have an update for us?
Nope, no updates out yet. Probably is going to be a game time decision tomorrow.
Okay, so
you probably on
he did kind of come off a little wobbly off the field. Mike, go ahead. +3 spread for the LA Rams. Total score. Actually, Mike, I'm going to ask you about this. 48.5 points for the total score for the game. Do you think that's going to go over or under?
I think it's going to be under, actually. The only reason is the Rams defense is insane. I know Tom Brady's an amazing quarterback, and there's no way around. There's no lying at that. Tom Brady's probably the best quarterback ever. But
not saying a lot from you, Mike. It's saying a good bit from a Packers fan.
Yeah,
you definitely argue that A-Rod has had a more prolific, well, not prolific, but a statistically and from a few other standpoints.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is definitely the better statistics like quarterback, but Tom Brady is the better quarterback for winning Super Bowls in production. That's why I said he is the best quarterback of all time.
And in most cases, that's really all that matters.
Exactly. But
okay.
The one thing that I do have to say is he's not mobile at all. Aaron Rodgers can move. So if Aaron Donald gets off a block, it's not going to end well for Tom.
Yeah, but he's probably going to be the whole game, bro. I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, definitely. But he's fought through double teams all year. I think he knows what to do against those.
The only thing about the Rams, though, is that they like to fold under pressure a lot.
Yeah.
Like Stafford, he'll make bad decisions. But
I mean,
fixes in the league.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you get when you play with the Lions.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. Stafford hasn't looked all that great these past few games. Last game he really didn't have a chance because they were whooping the hell out of the Cardinals. I mean, that was just a horrible game. Well, I mean, what a disgrace for Kyler. People calling him the MVP. That's horrible. But one more who brought up a mobile quarterback, Mike. Okay, 2 questions for you right here. 2 more player props from this game, and then we're gonna move on to the next game. Who has a better chance on hitting the over of their rushing yards? This is a funny one. Tom Brady 1.5 or Matt Stafford 2.5.
I definitely say Stafford, honestly. I mean, Tom Brady, his coach came up and told him not to run anymore. I saw a clip of that. But I think Stafford can. I don't think it was last week. I think it was like sometime in the middle of the season.
No, last week Brady. I think it was the Eagles game. He just took off for.
Wait, really? I didn't watch the game.
Like twice for first down.
Because he never did that in New England.
No.
Yeah, because I mean, Bill Belichick probably would have killed him.
Yeah, I mean it's
just based off how you run your offense, but
yeah,
I guess.
Okay, for each one of these games, I'm gonna give you one player prop that I think is an absolute lock. I actually have 2. OBJ, I'm taking over 40.5 yards, and I'm also taking an OBJ touchdown as well. Those are both locks for me. OBJ has been playing really good. I'm gonna have to say those are easy locks for me. Anybody opposed to that?
No, I agree with that.
Oh, you agree? Okay, good. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next game, which is the divisional round, the AFC divisional round. We got the Bills and the Chiefs. Now, this is not even arguably. This is the best game of the weekend. I mean, this is. I kind of thought
it could be of the year.
It could be the game of the year. I mean, these are 2 teams that if they were not this is probably like a Super Bowl matchup, but they're both in the AFC, so they both can't go. But let's take a look at the Bills Chiefs game, and this is how good of a. I've been looking at money lines and stuff like that. in spreads for as long as I can remember. But I'm not 18, I'm not 21, so I don't sports bet. Of course, no sports betting if you're not 21. The spread's 1.5. That's insane. So you're not really betting on the spread at this point. You're betting on the win. You're betting on the win, and I wouldn't even recommend the spread at all here. I'm just gonna ask you straight up, Hart. We'll start with you. Who's winning this game, and what's the biggest factor?
Man, this is a tough one, but I'm gonna have to go with Kansas City. Kansas City has really great fans, loud fans. Arrowhead's one of the hardest stadiums to play at, so that'll be a factor. But I don't know, man. Mahomes is a tough quarterback to stop because when you think you have him down, he'll just throw it. He always gets a guy open.
Yeah, I mean, Mahomes has been he's the best quarterback in this past century already. I mean, the dude is
But the
just
thing about this game is that it's a revenge game. If you remember, Diggs literally watched the ceremony after the game. And this,
yeah. So that
it's more
definitely
than
left
a game.
definitely left a bad taste in their mouth. Mike, we'll
Yep.
jump to you. Who? I'm not even gonna ask you who's gonna win this. I will in a sec. But who is playing the biggest factor in this game?
I got to go with Chris Jones. He's
Very high IQ answer, Mike.
If he plays good and can get into the backfield, it's going to be a lot quicker throws for Josh Allen, and if he plays good, the Chiefs are going to win.
And I'll agree with you there. I think honestly, there's a game that Chris Jones and that defense has to play good. It's right now. It's not even the fact that Josh Allen can sling it, because we all know he can. He is a very hard man to tackle. I mean, the dude's huge. I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry, but he's that size. He can throw and he can move. That's the definition of a dual threat quarterback. Now, he can't run like Lamar, but as far as trying to get him down to tackle him, that's just another thing you have to worry about. And we'll talk about it in a little bit. I think that's what the Steelers are really looking for. Just a quarterback that just is a dual threat. But my pick, I'm gonna go with Buffalo. I'll give you my player props after. I want to know what Fraz thinks about this game. Who is winning this game?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Hartley with the Chiefs. I mean, he touched on every point. I think the home field advantage is definitely gonna be a big part. But let's be honest here. I mean, that Steelers defense looked like amazing going into the playoffs. Also, first quarter looked really, really good. But just give Patrick Mahomes a quarter. Give him that quarter and a half. He's gonna just start picking apart your team. I mean, they started using Tyreek Hill in the middle of the game, but I really think in this Bills game, it's gonna be Byron Pringle and Mecole Hardman just like taking apart that defense, because they're gonna be so locked on Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and for the receiver core.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Buffalo. I want to. I'm not doing it just to go against the consensus. I don't know. I think with the way that Josh Allen is playing right now, the only argument I could really say is Arrowhead. I mean, the Steelers seen it firsthand. Arrowhead might be one of the hardest stadiums to play in. The fans, and this might not really be a factor because it's Josh Allen. He's from Buffalo. The weather is another one. The wind is supposed to be a little bit high. I'm gonna go Buffalo. I wouldn't take the spread. I'd take the money line. But I have a three-player parlay here. I have Dawson Knox over 40.5 yards, a Dawson Knox touchdown, and a Stephon Diggs touchdown. I think Dawson Knox has had a very consistent year, and I think this is a Dawson Knox game. So, guys, anytime touchdown score, give me one real quick, or a first. Who's scoring the first touchdown in the game? It has to be rushing or receiving. Who's scoring the first touchdown in the game? Fraz.
I'm gonna go with Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek, Mikey. Who's scoring the first touchdown again?
I'm gonna go Devin Singletary on a rushing touchdown.
Oh, that's a good one. Art, who is scoring the first touchdown in the game?
Josh Allen rushing touchdown.
That's what I was gonna say. I think if I was gonna go for a first player touchdown, which I'm not, because those bets are always really dumb, I definitely would go with a Josh Allen rushing touchdown.
In that game, I feel like whoever gets the ball first, like that team's scoring. You know what I mean? It's not going to be.
I think Buffalo is scoring their first drive. I don't think Kansas City will. They start off a little slow sometimes.
They do start off slow. That's what I'm saying, though. When they pick up in the game, though, they're going to be. I mean, what did they put, like 28 points in the second half? Something like that. It was insane against the Steelers.
I mean, I tell you what, both of these teams, if you get rolling, they're very tough to stop, and that's why this is like, I posted a TikTok about it. I can really relate to the Rams Chiefs game way back in 2018. These are two teams that are just high power on both sides of the ball, and this would genuinely be a good football game. If you have nothing going on tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m., your ass should be sitting on that couch and watching this game because this
is at 6:30.
This is a 6:30 game,
and then 3:00, right? First game's 3:00.
Probably,
First game is at 3:00. That is the Rams Bucks game. But yeah, what an awkward time! What an awkward time for this game. But yeah, overall, okay. So now that the Niners, or excuse me, oh yeah, I guess we said it. Now that the Niners have moved on, let's take a look at. Oh, what is this? What is this? Adobe Flash, get off my screen. Get off my screen. Come on.
Hey, Bill, whenever you said the Niners have moved on, I almost cried.
Oh, well, sucks.
Yeah, me too. That's 80K in Madden. I can't get
Yeah, it's 80K Madden right there. I mean,
You're a franchise quarterback, man.
Yep, so, I mean, fellas, now that we have a pretty good base teams left, and we'll ask the same question next week if we do this again next week. Right now, Super Bowl. Who's in and who's out? This is a pretty generic question for right now. After we answer this, we're going to quickly move on to the Steelers, and I think we'll wrap it up there. But I think I'll go first. Again, I think Buffalo wins out. I think again, a team that is this red hot, and I have not seen a team this red hot in a very long time. That one was for you, Mike.
Hey, whose team didn't make the playoffs?
Whose team didn't make the playoffs? Oh,
I don't know. I mean, I feel like everybody in this stream didn't or
this
did.
team didn't make the playoffs, so I was upset I couldn't see Big Q for another week this year.
Hey, Bill, but you're a Steelers fan, and
I am.
The Ravens fan.
Steelers fan.
It's a little sad.
I am indeed a Steelers fan, but I am also a Big Q fan. Okay, so my Super Bowl prediction, I'm gonna have. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be. Excuse me, my head's really, really itchy. I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bills versus the Rams. I think both teams really red hot right now. Both really red hot. Now, I think the excuse me. I think the Cardinals were a bit of a fraud team. Now, granted, they didn't have D-Hop, so that's a big part of their offense. Kyler was throwing to midgets the whole time, considering he is 1-2. But I think the Rams now that by the way, Cam Akers, holy, he looked really good. I mean, Cam Akers looked back. I think he definitely had a better return game than Derek did. Cam Akers is back. Darrell Henderson ain't the crap on my shoe anymore. You have Sony Michel back there too. You have so much depth everywhere. I mean, Sean McVay made it very clear. He's going all out, right? He traded a ton of draft capital for Von Miller, for OBJ. You have all these guys now. What do you have to lose now? Nothing. You have nothing to lose. I'm going to say the Rams. I'm going to say it's going to be the Rams and the Bills in the Super Bowl, but I have the Bills winning the Super Bowl. I think the Bills are going to win. Raz, we'll start with you. Out of the teams that are left, what are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I mean, like I said, I think Bucks are gonna win that game, and I mean, are you saying NFC Championship right now, or?
No, I'm talking. What's your Super Bowl prediction?
Super Bowl, okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm probably gonna go. I'm gonna go Bucks and Chiefs again. Honestly, I think it's gonna be Bucks and Chiefs.
Oh, now Hart, you do not want that Super Bowl. You made that very
I
clear.
don't want that Super Bowl.
You do not
but-
want to see Brady and Mahomes in the Super Bowl again. Hart,
Yeah, we were talking
Even
about
though-
that earlier.
even though you don't want that Super Bowl to happen, realistically, what do you think the Super Bowl is going to be?
So, like I said before the season even started, I literally said that it was going to be the same Super Bowl matchup as last year.
Mm.
Bucks and Chiefs.
So even though you don't want it, you still think
I don't want that either.
Yep.
I want to see another,
Exactly. I want to see different teams in it.
But
I'm
let's
sick
be
of seeing
honest.
Brady.
Let's be honest.
I
Who is-
respect Brady.
Yeah.
I respect Brady so much. Greatest quarterback of all time. But we're going to
I
see it
think we're
again.
all a little annoyed. We're all a little annoyed, even New England fans now. Mike, now that your Packers are out, give us a Super Bowl prediction. And do you think now that Niners have beat the Packers, not being salty, is there any chance now?
Actually, there definitely is a chance for the Niners. If they can beat Aaron Rodgers, they can beat anybody. And especially when Aaron Rodgers is basically in his house. He's used to the cold, used to everything like that. And the San Francisco, the Niners, they're not used to that. It's usually a nice little warm place over there.
That's a little warm place in Cali.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I think it's going to be a rematch Super Bowl. 49ers versus the Chiefs. Only because the Bills usually fold in the playoffs or in the Super Bowl.
Falling under pressure, man.
Okay, Mike, that was like, oh my god, that was how long
Four
ago?
times in a row, though.
I know, but come on,
Fourth.
this is totally
Four.
different. Management, coaching. I mean, now I will say, if I was an offensive coordinator and I had to emulate my team based off of one offense, it's the 49ers. I love it, man. As a former lineman, I wasn't very good. I sucked, but it's okay. I still love the game. I love the game. It's so much fun watching that Niners offense. We're seeing tackles pull. We're seeing fullbacks. You never see fullbacks anymore. When did the Steelers play Derek Watt? Never.
Special teams.
Special
Bill,
teams.
I feel
By
like-
the way, dog in special teams too.
That
Damn.
Lions game we went to. They
Yeah, him and Killebrew, man. What a
Kilbur.
Yeah.
Killebrew.
Hey, Bill. I feel like the last true, the last true fullback was Mike Allstott.
I mean, that was a pretty good time. That was pretty good.
That was a
Not
great
too
time
long-
for
Not
fullbacks.
too
but now
long
they're
ago.
not.
But, okay, before we say anything else, before we move on, BD thinks Buffalo beat the Kansas City and the Rams and beat the Bucks. He's booking it. He's booking it. Rams will beat the Bucks and Buffalo beat Kansas City. Now, I had a hypothetical parlay. Hypothetical because I don't bet. I'm not 21. I don't sports bet. Very illegal. I had a hypothetical where I do have the Rams money line, and I think Buffalo will win. So this is, I have to agree with. Brandon, right on the money with me, man. So yeah, I think that's a good place to stop right there with that, and let's transition into really what only we really care about, what we really talk about, and we all have different opinions on, is what are the Steelers doing next? I mean, there's a lot of things the Steelers got to do. But Hart, if you are Kevin Colbert or if you're Rooney, whoever the hell you are, if you are leading the Pittsburgh Steelers into this offseason, what is whether it's cutting, re-signing, prioritizing in the draft, what is the very first thing you're doing?
Are you talking like free agency wise or?
I mean,
draft?
whatever the first thing in the offseason you would do.
Oof. Well, I think they should re-sign Juju.
I like that.
You're probably going to disagree, but
Hmm.
he's still a good receiver. You can't deny
He
that.
is.
Makes a difference.
I'm not denying that. I think he's really good, but there's one reason why I am just going to disagree with you. But I'm going to let Fraz go ahead first. Fraz, you made a little face there when Hardass said that. Why do you disagree?
Yeah. I don't know if that'd be the first thing I would do. I would say that's like a down the road type, decision.
Well, that's just the first thing that popped up.
Yeah. I
my
mean,
head.
for me, let's be honest. Everybody wants a quarterback. I don't think that's going to be our main priority, just right at first. I think our biggest struggle right now is going to be our offensive line. We had John Leglu as our right guard. John Leglu as our right guard in that playoff game. He was
And Hassenauer was our center.
Right guard. And yes, Hassenauer was our center.
JT Hassenauer.
And I mean, that's our first priority right there is I think a guard or a center of some sort. I think actually a guard would be a lot better. But that's my opinion. First thing off the bat.
Okay. I'll give my opinion in a sec. I'll give my opinion on everything. Mike, go ahead. Pittsburgh Steelers management, the very first move you'd make.
I mean, I have a lot of moves that I'm thinking.
The very first one. Just the very first one.
Very first one. Fire the offensive coordinator, no doubt.
Oh, get it out.
Matt Canada is terrible. Get him out of there. Send him to KC, somewhere that nobody gives a shit about. Get him out of here. Maybe a high school would be good for him. NFL is not.
Wow.
Okay. Now,
actually, not even a high school. Maybe midget.
We'll start there. Unpopular opinion. I think we got to give Canada one more year.
No.
I think. Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. You gotta think of where what he was given at the time.
Yeah.
Crappy O-line and a quarterback that really doesn't belong in today's era. Now there are other teams that work like that. Okay? But I don't like Canada. I think he sucks. I think it's not even the fact that, his play calling sucks. I think it's the plays that he calls them in the sequential order. It's 2nd and 1. Personally, I'm running a play action on 2nd and 1. Okay, that's just me. But when your O-line isn't that good and, you try to run the ball on you're in shotgun, bends and empty, and it's 2nd and 1, and then you do it again on 3rd down, that just really doesn't make sense to me. So I don't think Canada's good. However, I think they'll definitely give him another year because of the cards that he was dealt.
I agree.
But I'm going to go back to what Hart said in re-signing Juju and then kind of tying in with what Fraz said. If we re-sign Juju, it's not going to be on his terms, unfortunately, because I think Juju's ready for that 4-year deal now. Okay, you know what? I proved myself. I put a little bit of tape in that that playoff game. I'm telling teams I'm ready to roll, which, by the way, for what it's worth, he had a pretty good game. I mean, for just coming back, those circumstances, I think Juju's a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong. But I don't know if we can sign him to another 4-year deal. But the problem is we'd have to re-sign. We'd have to keep Washington. You have to keep your depth at receiver. So maybe if we got rid of James Washington, who, by the way, at the beginning of the season, wanted out of Pittsburgh. I don't know if anybody remembers that. James Washington did not want to be a Steeler at the beginning of the year. We kind of made him stay. And I think he's very underrated. Is that hard?
He barely played.
He barely played because again, we gave the ball to Najee a lot. Second in rushing attempts in the regular season. Finished 4th. Good year for Najee. But
I do have an unpopular opinion about James Washington. That dude right there is a better wide receiver than Chase Claypool.
Now, I can't believe I'm saying this. I kind of agree with you. I think Chase's size is kind of needed on that field. But if you watch James Washington,
guys, really? Are you really saying that right now?
Yes, I am really
100%. If you look at Claypool, he'll slow down before the ball gets there, or he will not even try.
He's just not fast in general.
Maybe like a little reach out in front of you. I can make those catches if I was out there.
Claypool has made catches.
I haven't started a high school game ever. I'm a senior.
Chase Claypool has made grabs that I've never seen in my entire life.
Yeah, really good catches. But we've also seen that from James Washington too, on very less targets.
And if the Steelers were going to have to keep one, keep Washington. He's a little bit less of a name.
Now,
No.
And
that
get
I
rid
don't
of-
agree with. I think the problem is the typical we'll go with the Chargers for example. You have two bigger threat receivers, right? Mike
Mhm.
Williams, best 50-50 ball receiver in the league. I don't really think there's any debate about that. And then you have how did I do that? I agree with this. I'll come back to this in a second. But then you have Keenan Allen, who all around is just a really good receiver. And then you have guys like Guyton. You have your speed guys. I think Claypool's out there because it's more just the dynamic of their offense. Claypool's big, Deontay's that mid route guy, and then they both kind of do a combination of different routes. I think James Washington should be integrated more on our offense next year. I do agree with Mike on that,
I
but
agree too.
my personal opinion on what the first thing the Steelers should do, I think signing Deshaun Watson's a little unrealistic,
That
especially
says
with
Winston. He's talking about Jameis Winston. He's a free agent.
Oh,
Not Watson.
wait, Winston? They only signed Winston to a 1 year.
Yeah.
Oh, now that would
But-
now my whole thought process has changed. I didn't know they signed him to a 1 year. I love Jameis Winston. I
I'm a
think
fan
the
of him
30
too.
the 30-30 year where he led the league in yards. Hey, he threw what or was it? No, what was
It was
It's
30 and 30.
Okay, yeah, 30-30. Very impressive year for Jameis. Led the league in yards, but then he threw 30 interceptions. So impressive in those feats. However,
yeah.
those first few games this season, he looked pretty good. He looked pretty good, promising. He beat the crap out of the Packers.
Aggressive quarterback.
Yes,
though.
he did. Yes, he did. He whooped them. Yeah, try a little more. I like Winston. I like Watson, but I think my quarterback is Marcus Mariota. I think that's the most realistic for the Steelers. Now,
I don't
This
think they're
is-
going to do that though.
I
I
can't.
think
see
they're
that.
going. I think they're going with Rudolph for a year,
Yeah,
and
I
then
don't know.
going from there.
I don't know if they're going to sign a quarterback, even though
Now-
I want them to.
before we continue, Tomlin has said numerous times that he wants a mobile quarterback. Okay, he wants a really mobile quarterback, and I think he said something along the lines of "It's time for a change around here," something like that. He
Yeah,
wants
I
a
hope
mobile
so.
quarterback. Mariota's the first one that pops up in my head, but and yes, and this is a very good point. I think I said this the other night. If Mason Rudolph is starting this year, why the hell wasn't he or next year? Why the hell wasn't he starting this year? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Why would you bring Ben back or even start Ben if Mason's if we're doing this? This would have been the best year for Mason to start, to be honest with you.
Billy, will
Mike,
Steelers
crap.
draft a quarterback?
No,
Oh,
Not this
maybe
year.
maybe
this
the second
Not
round.
like-
I like.
I don't
just
even
saying, like,
know.
draft a quarterback.
I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback this year.
I don't think they're going to
what
draft one
they're
at all
going-
this year either.
I
I mean,
think
if
what
they
they're
do,
going
it
to
would
do,
probably be the second round.
It'd
Mm.
I
be
like
Ritter.
that Cincinnati
Ritter would
quarterback,
be
Desmond
the-
Ray.
Yeah, Ritter's
I like-
awesome.
I like Ritter too, but what I think they're going to try and do, I don't think Bryce Young is in this draft, right?
No, he's not.
No,
He won't-
So,
he'll be in another 2 years.
The Steelers are going to start either Rudolph or Haskins. It's going to be a battle between those two. They're going to draft offensive linemen and fill out all of those other
Lindenberg.
key positions. And then next year, they're going to trade up in the draft to get Bryce Young.
They
No.
might not even need to trade up.
I don't know.
Honestly,
I
they
know
might
Bryce Young-
not,
Bryce Young was
but-
a true freshman this year, so I don't.
No,
Yeah, I don't
he
even think
was a
he's next year
sophomore.
either.
Or he's a
No,
sophomore.
he was a sophomore. He can declare
Okay.
next year.
My opinion on that is, I think my opinion has changed. I actually think this is a very unpopular opinion. Steelers don't go quarterback. The Steelers don't go O-line in the first round either. I think the Steelers go DB first round. Okay, hear me out. We are losing a ton of depth at DB. You think about it, Sutton's probably not going to come back. He didn't really want to play for us this year. Joe
They're
Hayden.
not signing Hayden again. There's no.
They're not re-signing Joe Hayden. Pierre and
Well, we got that the
Kellen
dude from the
Witherspoon.
49ers. I forget his name.
I mean, Akello Witherspoon's been playing
Yeah.
really
I
good.
thought he's been playing great. Honestly.
He has.
He's only 20. He's only 25. I mean, corners.
That was from the Seahawks. That was a great. We traded a 6th rounder conditional 5th to them. That was a great trade. I really like the way he's playing. but one
Yeah.
corner can't do it all.
But he plays in the slot.
One corner can't do it all. You see, the Rams have Ramsey. They also have Long. They both play really well. I think they go DB. My draft analysis. I just watched film on linemen. I really want the linemen to. I really want the Steelers to get. Oh my God, what's his name?
Lindenberg,
Lindenbaum.
Iowa.
I love
Lindenbaum.
Lindenberg.
So
He's
that's who I want.
Linderbaum. Why did I say Linderberg? Was that a
That's
float?
not. He's not Heisenberg from Breaking Bad.
I thought that's what his name was. I don't think it's. Is it?
No, it's
No,
Linderbaum.
it's Linder. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know that man.
He's one of the nastiest. Yes, Tua is coming
Yeah,
back
he is.
next year.
Oh,
The Steelers want. Or sorry, Linderbaum is one of the nastiest centers I've seen in a while. A video surfaced of him beating Tristan Wirfs in wrestling before. Absolutely insane. I think if we can trade up a few spots for him, that's the only alignment I see the Steelers taking in the first round.
I don't think we'll need to be honest.
No, they definitely will have to.
Based
No,
on
they'll have to.
They have
There's
to.
a lot
He's
of
gonna
teams
go-
that. Here's the thing: a lot of teams. There are teams that are in need of quarterbacks, but there's also a lot of teams like early on, like the Eagles have what? Now I know they
Yeah,
have
three.
one pick in the top 10, if I'm not wrong, and
They
then they have
have
another one.
They have 3 picks.
Yeah,
all of those picks are from. I think they're top. It's in the top 15. I think.
Yeah,
Or
top 15.
less than. It's somewhere
Besides,
less than top 20.
I don't know about the
So-
Colts one though.
Now, unfortunately, I think the Eagles are a team that could draft Linderbaum and put him at guard, because you have Jason Kelsey, who's
Yeah.
one of the best centers of football. I don't know. I think the Steelers go DB, and then lineman round 2. I don't think a quarterback's off the board for the Steelers at all this year.
Billy,
I
one
think-
thing I do have to say about you saying they can draft a DB, I just pulled this thing up on a separate tab. There are a ton of free agent
Exactly.
DBs. There's Stephon Gilmore, Kyle Fuller, Chris Harris, Bryce Callahan, Kevin King, Darius Williams, and Kello Witherspoon, Jarvis Ward, J.C. Jackson. Let
J.C.
me see
Jackson.
some
Oh
more.
my.
Richard Sherman,
No.
Eli Apple, Dante Jackson. That's the guy I think they're going to pick up. He's a very
he's
good
good.
man-to-man cornerback that is pretty young.
Okay, real quick, what do we think about Teron Armstead from the Saints? Tackle.
Right.
Big dude.
I think they're going to franchise tag him.
You think that they're going to franchise tag him?
Yes.
He's
Who else?
he's stressed that he does not want to come back, but if the money's right, he will. Do you see the Steelers paying a tackle money like that?
We got the money. I mean, we still got to pay Minka though.
J.C. Jackson is a free agent, by the
If
way.
there
I don't
is-
know if people know that.
Yeah.
Yes, J.C. Jackson is a very good corner that they could sign.
But that's money. That is definitely money. A guy that's played the way he has for the past couple of years, that's for sure. That'd be a little bit out of pocket for the Steelers. Considering, I'll be honest, Steelers are a cheap team. The Rooneys are cheap. We don't like to. We don't like spending a lot of money. We don't like spending a lot of money.
Well, when was the last time we brought in a veteran? Vic?
I can't think of any.
I don't
Go
know.
Hayden. That's it.
What about Vic? Oh, Vic was like
Okay, yeah, Vic was. That's different. We're looking for a guy that can play a couple years. So I'll be honest now. My opinion has changed. I think Jameis Winston, if there, because I don't think the Saints I don't think the Saints would do that. Although Taysom, they just paid Taysom like upwards of $90 million.
Yeah, but I don't think he's like quarterback type.
No,
He
but
has
Sean
trouble throwing
Payton
the ball.
loves it. Mike,
Do you guys know who I think the Steelers 100% should give another chance to?
this guy.
Not that guy. He's too old.
Raz would be so
and
happy.
I
What's up
think
with
the Steelers are going to sign some guy that has been learning behind one of the best quarterbacks in the league for a whole year. They are
Jordan-
going to sign.
Jordan Love is not going to be his team.
He not Jordan Love.
True.
Last year's MVP, Mitchell Trubisky.
That's a good one.
He's going
That's
to
a
be
good one.
you're not going to expect a lot from him, but he's been learning behind the best. He can take what he learned, put it into his game, and take off running with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I mean, he wasn't a bad quarterback. He just didn't have any weapons besides
And
A-Rod.
Money Mitch was not given a fair chance.
Besides A-Rod. But that was when A-Rod was good with Mitch.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I'll be honest, guys. We're at the hour mark. I think today we're very
I mean, do we have anything else that we wanted to cover?
I don't know,
UFC.
man.
There's some live UFC.
Oh, let's.
Like, I could just fill you in right now.
Yeah, sure. When's the Ngannou fight's probably not for another.
Yeah, Morales stays undefeated at welterweight.
Okay.
And Khabib's cousin has beaten Strowman. And
Ooh, there you go.
yeah, and Mike Pereira is 27-11 now as we speak
Wow.
at welterweight.
Yeah, anybody who's related to Khabib is,
And we also have, I mean, obviously everyone knows we have the Ngannou fight. I obviously got Ngannou winning.
I
oh,
don't even know who that is.
He's some
you-
very big,
heaviest punch in the world, Hart.
very
I saw that
heavy
video
punch.
though.
He is
Yeah.
a great boxer.
I
My money would be on
wrestling,
Ngannou.
wrestling is taking over the UFC now with Khabib. All of Khabib's cousins, all of his brothers, everybody is the Khabibs are taking over.
Akil, my room is cold.
No, I can't pronounce his last name at all. I screw up every time I say it, so I'm not going to call him the Khabibs.
Yeah, I mean, the dude just wrestled bears growing up. He's like 8 years old wrestling bears. All right, fellas.
Bill,
I think today was a very good show. Any last, Mike?
I do got one thing to say. Kind of like Fraz was talking about wrestling. This is actually boxing, or not wrestling, UFC. This is actually boxing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy. He's a boxing legend called Muhammad Ali. Have you guys
Yeah.
heard of him?
Yes, Mike.
Mike, where are you going with this?
His grandson is actually boxing now, and he's a pretty damn good boxer. That's all I can do.
Okay.
Something to look
He
out
could
for.
be. I don't think he's going to be the next Muhammad Ali because that guy was batshit crazy at boxing. But
No, it's the second greatest boxer of all time.
arguably
Behind
number
Jake
one.
Paul.
Nah, Jake Paul's the best safety in the NFL, or
Nah.
best NFL free agent safety. There you go.
I think Mike Tyson's the greatest boxer of all time. That is a debate for another day. Fellas, thank you for coming on. I'm going to end it off here. Deuces, fellas. Thank you guys for coming on, Frank. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Hey, listen, first show, BDIV and the boys. We're back on the late night show. We're going to see how things go. Could be doing this again. I don't know. Could be having them back. We'll see how everybody's schedule is. I know we go back to school, and that's why we kind of really stopped because we got so much going on outside of this. So thank you guys for tagging along. But yeah, I was gonna start on this whole editing film and stuff like that, and then NFL, the Game Pass, they took away the most important thing. Is it still on? I'll probably be back on in a couple minutes. Whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, they took away NFL Game Pass, all 22 film. I was really upset. But expect some draft shows because you know how Bill gets with his drafts. I really get in depth. I watch a ton of college football film. I can get all 22 college football film. And we'll see what the Steelers do. But yeah, no, if you have nothing going on tomorrow, highly recommend watching that Bills-Chiefs game. It's going to be the best game you've watched in a really long time. We'll see you guys later. And thank you for coming out. Deuces.